Wait a minute, all that other stuff was written. Oh, yeah. Oh, yours must be right there. Sorry.
Oh.
That's why I didn't think, you know. Yeah, he does.
That's right.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Gary, did you sign in?
Yeah.
Good.
Uh,
Hey, Chelsea.
Hey, Chelsea, what's going on? Good to see you.
Anybody want to get the bills?
Sure.
Try to get that. Well, that's nice. I need to sign something.
No.
All right.
Like you burned it back up. Do this that way. Tom, you want to sit in this more comfortable chair?
Oh, no,
It's not gonna be.
yeah, I gotta sit out towards the edge anyway, so I can keep it straight, so.
We have a better chair at the police department. If you want me to bring one over for you, you okay, sir?
Is there bars in there?
No, no.
No, I'm fine, I appreciate it, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello.
Was you the one that came over to my house?
Yes, sir, with me.
Well,
How are you doing?
I appreciate it.
That's why I was making sure, because if you want, because I know comfort's important, especially after you took that.
I know I look a little better than I did last time. so-
It's okay, you know.
Yeah, I
If
do.
you need anything, let us know.
All right, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
That's the last of them.
No, you don't have to.
This is too strong.
Well.
It's 7 o'clock, let's call the meeting to order. And the roll call, please.
Mayor Chapman.
Present.
Alderperson Brown. Present. Alderperson Bruckert. Alderperson Garrett. Alderperson Householder. Here. Alderperson Menard.
Present.
Alderperson West. Treasurer Webb.
Here.
Me, and Mr. Berticchio's not here yet. I don't know if he's coming. Oh, is it?
Everybody stands for pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stand for prayer, please. Lord, help this council to find wisdom and shed light on our thoughts. Give us strength to concentrate, to think objectively, and to see clearly. Lord, help us to avoid vanity and pride, and thus be able to make worthy decisions as true servants of yours. Amen. Everybody has the minutes in the packet. Yeah. Everyone have a chance to review the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second that.
Brown.
Yes.
Householder.
Yes.
West. Menard.
Yes.
We have some minutes that are not on the, whether we haven't received yet. These are from past meetings. We can remove these from the agenda. We have a motion to do that. I'm not sure if we're gonna get those or not. These are some park meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to do them.
And striking them.
Rather than strike them off the
Yeah,
agenda.
we'll probably never get them.
Is there a second?
Council members are no longer on the court.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
West.
Yes.
Householder.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Menard.
Yes.
See the executive session minutes. Those are the ones we haven't
Yes, I haven't
received, so
completed those yet, sorry.
we're gonna skip over the executive session special meeting and this executive session of May 20th, sorry. So we're gonna move on to the board report.
It's on the table. It's not your typical looking board report because I'm not a whiz at this program. When I printed out the council approval reports, it like printed all of the payments under each fund. So I put a bigger history that shows you the bills that have been paid this month. That first page also shows you that they're open. I haven't had time yet to figure out how come they didn't get printed like the rest of the bills.
Make a motion to accept the board report as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the board report as presented.
Menard.
Yes.
Householder.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Brown.
This is our statement of revenue and expenditures, financial report.
We don't have one. Because it won't be accurate because we don't have everything in the computer system yet.
Have it for you next month. Water user deposit refund report. In the same boat on that. Treasurer's report.
In your list.
Are there any questions for the treasurer?
So you able to transfer money and give money?
I am. Finally was able to get all of that taken care of, and the Illinois funds will be this week as well finalized. So we should be good to go next week.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If I can find it, I'll make a motion to approve it. I already looked at it.
I'll make a motion to approve. Treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded for the treasurer's report. Have a roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Householder,
Yes.
Menard,
Yes.
West.
Yes.
All right, comments from the visitors. Nobody has any comments, we're gonna move on. We move to old business, Main Meisner Whitaker Park. This is, for the surveying of the basketball court. So I made a recommendation to Carrie that we, off the plans that we purchased, for the improvements of the park, that, we hire Hennigan and Associates to use the plans off the park and place the basketball court where it's supposed to be according to the plan. That way, when we move forward with that ball field, everything's gonna be in the place that it's supposed to be, including elevation, height of the ball court. Carrie has some more information on that as far as the cost, but I think it's, I think it's very important to do that. And having things where they're supposed to be is really key. If we have the elevation too high, it could affect the drainage, or if we have it too low, it could be underwater. And then also the positioning of it is very important. We kind of discussed this in on the committee meetings. We met with Ronnie Paul, and we can get on their schedule pretty quick to have that taken care of. Anything else you'd like to add, Karen?
The only thing about the placement with using Hayden Associates, it also will affect the new baseball or softball field location, so that's why we want to make sure the basketball court in that location as well. This time I'd like to make a motion to hire Hayden Associates for estimated time up to $2,000 to mark for the new basketball court. And once that's done, the city workers will take over and get it ready for concrete, and then concrete company, we already approved, come in for it. So hopefully the kids can have fun with it this summer.
I'll second it. Motion has been made and seconded to approve Hennigan and Associates survey work order number 330-1.
Householder,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Bernard,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Next is the deputy clerk's position. Have had interviews. We have offered the position. We were, the applicant declined after we made the offer. So we're still looking for a deputy clerk. We did receive another application here just recently, and we're going to be moving forward with more interviews. Kind of a short report on the deputy clerk. Police chief, John Stein.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
On the deputy clerk position, do they have to sign a, what do they call that, a confidentiality thing about what records that they see or things like that? Because like my bank account's in that office. And I don't like the fact that there's a civilian working in the office right now. It's not an employee of the city that has access to personal bank account records.
I don't know if we have.
I don't know if we have records of your bank account,
Well, then how do you get paid? Because mine gets paid automatically out of my bank.
and we just get the money from the bank. We don't get your banking info. It may be in a file somewhere where Ginger had it originally, either form. But
Do you pay online or how do you pay?
No, I don't pay. I just get the bill. I don't even do nothing. It says, do not pay on my bill, and it automatically comes out of my checking account. That means the city has my checking account.
I'll look into how that process works. I don't know. all the
Well, I
details
am
of that.
concerned about somebody being in here that does not, that's not a city employee.
Well, I don't think they're pulling any of your records if it's telling you not to. If it's telling you not to pay anything, it's coming out automatically. They're not seeing any of your records.
yeah, we're not. It's just-
I think what his concern is that
Somebody's got
Yeah,
access
I was
to
gonna say,
my
information. Basically, is it locked up? Is files in a filing cabinet locked up, or can anybody just
I'll
open?
find the answer
and
to
look at
that.
stuff.
You know, first and foremost, that stuff doesn't just lay around, so.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it yet, but there's a lot of locked drawers that I haven't been into also, so.
Did you guys fill out a form?
Yes,
Did you give them a canceled check when you did that? I pay mine through my bank account, so I don't. You did?
yes.
But I'll figure out the
It's got the routing
process.
number and it's got the account number.
So it's just a check that you wrote void on and you gave it to them with the form.
And they took it from there with the routing
Kind of like a direct deposit for payroll.
I'll find out the process. So I honestly don't know how that works. You know, that was all done prior to me taking over.
Are
And
you?
you may know more so than we know about it. I mean, with Ashley, Ginger's daughter, so
Ashley doesn't talk to me about this.
I just.
We'll find out the information,
But,
go from there.
okay, then my question is also, you've got, you know, the bank account numbers are all there and stuff like that. But does the new deputy clerk have to sign a confidentiality form? Or the new water, or well, you don't have new water, but the new deputy clerk have to sign a confidentiality?
As far as I'm aware, our deputy clerk does not. I mean, maybe our water clerk should, because the water clerk is the one that handles that type of information. not the
And
deputy
who
clerk.
handles it when the water clerk's out?
I guess the deputy clerk.
Exactly.
It's never been done, so we'll check into that. We're gonna
You
move
got
on
another
now
question?
to,
You have another question in the corner.
John, what is the possibility of basically anybody that has access to those files, period, signing a confidentiality form saying, hey, we're not gonna be, I'm sure there's a legal process to it or a name or something, I don't know what it is, but,
so again,
instead of narrowing it down to just a deputy clerk, why not everybody that has access to those files, we get that from everybody.
we'll, like I said, we'll follow up with your question there and we'll get an answer on.
Well, I work in school, I had to sign a confidentiality.
We're gonna move on to fiscal year 2022 annual budget.
You missed the
Please
chief.
keep the chief, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, we were in the middle of that earlier, but.
Yeah.
So the chief position is still open. We're still looking for applications. We haven't received any yet. So we're still working on that. Next item is gonna be the annual budget. We have started some meetings on that. We've got a long way to go. There's stuff not jiving in some of the accounts, but or in some of the budgets, but we're working through that. We do need to, I think we should schedule a committee of the whole meeting and really knock a lot of this stuff down, especially on the admin side. And then by next meeting, we can definitely have this wrapped up.
Are you still wanting to do that Monday? That's the date you have right now.
And if everyone's in agreement to have a committee of the whole on Monday, yes, we can. Right.
What time? I mean,
What day is Monday, the
At 7.
14th? Flag Day.
We could do it, we could do it earlier for that matter. I mean, whatever works for you guys.
I usually don't get home until like 5:30. What time do you, or I could get here soon?
It's fine, yeah. Rather than 6.
That would, anytime you try.
You think an hour?
To go through the budget,
Yeah,
The rest of the
probably
night or no, longer?
I'd say longer.
We were gonna try to do the,
I mean, we were on our little bit for, well, not our little bit, but the park and the public works for quite some time. Do you have a question?
Do we have the opportunity to back up a little bit?
No, we're gonna move forward.
Even if we have questions?
Yeah, because I got two important questions.
This is an open-
Comments for visitors.
Yeah, we've already had comments. from-
Okay, but it's in reference to something that was old business and you moved past it pretty quickly. I mean, it's an open meeting. I would think if there's a question, it should
So
be allowed.
what's your question?
Well, my first one actually was about the park. Yeah, I don't know what the plans are, stuff like that for going forward, in future out there and stuff. It's something,
Which part?
the ballparks. The life experiences brings things to mind. The other night I went out to the ballpark after I had my accident. Is there any way we can look at possibly getting sidewalks that actually comes up off the main sidewalk to the stand seating area? I had a really tough time getting up there with crutches. And I can tell you right now, a wheelchair definitely isn't going to go through the grass as thick as it is there. So maybe make it a little bit easier, not just for me on crutches, but anybody that would have a physical disability that might make it easier for them to get to the seats.
where are you suggesting we put sidewalk?
In the closed
The
session.
ball pipe, we got the sidewalk that goes between the ball fields, and stuff like that, but there's nothing actually going up to the stands.
I got you.
So just like a little stub up there, that concrete pad with the stand sitting on.
I think we can consider that.
And then, yes, ma'am. And then the other one, everybody pretty much knows where I'm gonna go with this one on the police chief. The question that I have, and I'm not sure if it can even be answered, but I'm gonna put it out there. Why did we let a police chief go and you appointed yourself as chief of police whenever you have zero I mean, no offense, John, you're a nice guy, but you have no qualifications to be the chief of police at Bunker Hill.
Well, believe me, I don't really want the.
I understand. But wouldn't it make more sense to keep the one we had until we had a viable replacement possibly in the pipeline?
Possibly, but that's my decision and it's final.
Wow, great answer. Thank you.
I have a question. How long are we planning? I mean, is there a timeline? Like, we don't have a chief in 6 months? Is there an alternate to?
I think if we stick with the agenda here, we'll.
So you're
get
not
the
gonna
chief of
answer the
police here
question?
shortly. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the chief of police again here, down the line.
Okay, I was just curious if there was like so long we were gonna go without one.
No, we're not gonna go very long without one. So we've got the 2022 budget. What about meeting?
Monday.
Are we gonna set it for sure?
That works with everybody. Let's set it for Monday at 6. Is that good?
Six is good to me. Usually if I carry on.
Okay, I'm set. I'll set that.
The next item is the Fourth Avenue Sanitary Sewer Project bids. They're laying on the table for everybody.
Some of them were in your packets, but not all of them, and then a new one came in from Precision.
Yeah, they updated it.
Yeah, they
500
had,
feet.
yeah.
And I had asked them if he would bring them over to my desk, because I wasn't sure if this, the way he was scanning them was working or not.
You have a bid opening?
Sorry,
Did you have a bid opening?
it doesn't have to be a good opening, because it's less than $1. So we did get 3 bids though. So we got a bid from Stutz, a bid from J.P. Burns, and a bid from Precision.
I assume that Jake met with, because some of the lists on some of the materials and the work isn't the same on all 3 of them.
He gave me the-
Like the one from Stutz had the manhole box, the one from Precision, it has the trench box that has a manhole in it. Listed at least.
So manhole, this is just what they would supply. So the manhole box is just like a safety container that goes around that while, it protects the workers while they're in the
I mean, that's
hole.
what the trench box was, I didn't know, I thought it was the same box. So it's not a concrete drop box or manhole box, like,
Right. Yeah, that would just be safety equipment is
okay,
what they're providing.
gotcha.
We have used Precision in the past. They did the first portion of Wadsworth. They
They weren't the ones that went behind you.
no,
Okay.
that was H&M.
Yeah.
That was a different
Yeah.
outfit altogether.
I didn't think
So,
The Precision is the low bid.
They did. We're going on work already.
right.
Do you guys have any questions on it?
The only question I had was that,
Jake was
Well, I
closest to all of them.
I figured that. Make sure we're clear.
And at this time, we're looking at it's the second week in July to start that project. And we will be meeting with having another public works meeting and asking the citizens that live on Worth Avenue to join us if they'd like. Prior to that,
Are you still going to allow to pay the tap on fee but not annex in until you actually tap on?
We're going to offer
all that
basically
stands the same.
everything like it was before. So, yes, I mean, short and long, yes.
It's the second week of July. We haven't said it yet. I was gonna
And
try to get
I still
before.
can't do like Mansfield did to just hire a private contractor and tap on myself. Like Wilbur Street.
Well, you're still gonna have to get a contractor to come out to your tap.
Well, I understand that. But the tap on fee for them is $800 and ours is $4,250. That's what I understand.
Right, that was a totally different situation than what we're dealing with out here.
Anyway, we will have another meeting and again invite everybody that lives on Worth Avenue to come to that meeting before we do start the project. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion for Precision Excavating and Tilling LLC for $14,000 to do the second phase of Worth Avenue sewer lines.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept Precision Excavating and Tilling $14,000 for a sewer line extension on Worth Avenue. And a roll call, please.
You seconded it, Chelsea, did you? Yeah. Terry was writing the bid down. writing those motions.
Yeah, no, 14,000.
West,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Householder.
Yes.
Aye.
Hi, no, I missed, you're gonna have a meeting prior to deciding a date to start?
Yes,
The only reason I'm asking is because we have a company ready, so the day that you guys put it in, before you cover it, we've got people to come in and run ours and hook up immediately.
Okay,
So you don't have to dig up again.
I was gonna try to
and do all
schedule it for
that.
Monday before the budget meeting, but since we're having the budget meeting at 6, it'll be too long, so we will have another meeting and we will send out a letter to everybody who lives on Worth Avenue, letting you guys know.
I just know how much of a notice we have to give them, you know. I was
Oh,
trying to
you're
get where you
asking
guys
when the
didn't have to, yeah.
Right
where you
now
guys
is
didn't have to
tentatively
dig up.
the second week of July is when we're looking at starting.
Okay,
Okay, but I will confirm that for you.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions? Let's move on to new business. We're gonna adopt a resolution 21-02 for Fall Fest. Information in the packet.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution 21-03 for the Bunkerville Chamber of Commerce Fall Fest, September 11th, 2021.
02 is for the Fall Fest.
Oh, it says 03, sorry.
No, it doesn't. Fall Fest says 02, the one beneath it says 02.
On the resolution
In the
itself.
packet, it says that there
Oh, in the packet.
I lost
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it says
I
21
can't have that.
So do I have, so it's 21-02, I'll.
no, because the IMRF is OT. I think you just switch on the agenda. Oh, you just switch on the agenda.
Oh,
Just flip flop on the agenda from the,
I did, yeah, so the agenda's wrong. Okay, you're right.
Okay, so I'm good, let me repeat it.
Yeah. So that was a first by Carrie. Brown,
Yes.
West, Menard,
yes.
Household.
Yes.
Next, we need to adopt the resolution 21-02. This is a notice for IMRF appointment of an authorized agent. So currently, right now, we're not able to access the IMRF until we make a motion in the
Make any payments or report wages. Because Ginger was the only one. She hasn't given, IMRF, she's supposed to log on, sign in, and appoint someone else to do that, and she hasn't done that, so doing it this way.
So then we'll have 2 at all times, correct?
I don't know about that.
I don't want to sound dumb, but what does IMRS stand for?
Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 21-02 for the IMRF notice of appointment for Robert Whitworth. The authorized agent, sorry.
motion made and seconded. With a roll call, please.
Menard.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Householder.
Yes.
West.
Next we have, accept the resignation of police officers. Two in your packet. We have Drew Sloan and Eric Spudik.
Need a motion for each one. So,
Probably because Derek wants to remain
Correct,
part-time.
yes. Can I get a motion to accept the resignation of Drew Sloan?
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion for made and seconded. Have a roll call, please.
Menard.
make it right faster.
Not rushing.
Menard,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Householder,
Yes.
West.
So now I need a motion to accept Derek Spudic's resignation as a full-time police officer. And
Don't get ahead of me, make it part-time.
part-time.
There can be one motion. No, I think it can be one.
No, no,
You're right, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept Derek Studich's resignation and then as a full-time police officer and accept that he's going to be a part-time officer.
Motion to make second. Roll call.
Menard.
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
West, Householder.
Yes.
Our next item is the paychecks flex time.
Question.
Just curiosity, so what does that leave us for police force?
Well, not
I mean, no chief.
2 full-time officers and 15 part-time, is it? No,
it's 15.
no. 14.
So we're basically depending on county.
Not exactly, no.
How many
He's got-
patrols are the county covering?
I was gonna say, if you've only got 2 full-time, that's,
We're covering the best we can.
But you have 2 full-time officers, one works days, one works nights. So who does all the rest of it?
And we try to fill in with part-time in between. We've been
I'm
down this
well
road
aware
before,
of the
we've been-
part-timers and they don't show up.
Sometimes they don't.
How many patrols are we having covered by county right now at the moment?
I'm sorry.
How many patrols are being covered by county right now at the moment?
We've only had a handful so far. We're trying to do the best we can covering. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the paychecks flex time. We've been having some issue with our time clocks. With the 2 time clocks in 2 different locations. They're they're not reporting like they're supposed to be. For paychecks, they offer a digital sign-in, so we can use PC, cell phone, laptop, iPad, tablet, whatever you want to call that, to check in as opposed to, physically going to a time clock. So in the instance of Officer Boris, for instance, if he gets called out in the middle of the night, he can get on his cell phone, clock in, and then take right off. He doesn't have to come down here. Or same thing with Jake as the street superintendent. If there's an issue that he has to get out in the middle of the night, he can clock in his driveway and go directly to the, to that call. There's a lot of reports that it gives us that can help out. The employees can also just go right to their cell phone and pull up all of their time history with the city, including tax documents and the whole bit. It's really
They can request days off too, right?
correct. They can request.
Does a lot of things. They can request a time off, they can request, they can report. They can track all of their time. We can keep track of any overtime or if someone's getting close to going overtime. If they work within the budget, it gives us alerts. It does a lot. I think the accuracy of tracking one thing I really like about the program is we can switch, like if, say they go out in the morning, the public works department goes out in the morning for the street department, but then halfway through the day, they're gonna switch over and they're gonna work on something with the water department. They can actually go in and change their location of which department they're gonna be working for, so it gets tracked right in payroll. So instead of us relying on someone to transfer that information back down to us.
I thought I remember sitting in a meeting where you stated that you didn't want employees to be able to clock in on the phone because you wanted them to be at the building and use the time clocks. That was the reason that you were purchasing time clocks.
That is correct.
And how much, now you're saying that they can clock in on their phones or tablets or computers or.
That's because there is a system that allows them to clock in within a range now of being in the city hall or at a location if there's like a water main break. So, it's a geolocation, geolocation or geofencing.
Yes, sir.
Say it does give a location of the person clocking in
Yes,
when they're clocking. Is this a service you already paying for, or is this some new expenditure that we could?
So we're already having Paychex do all of our employee payroll. And this is an additional service. There's an additional fee for the service. But you know, a lot of the advantages that it gives us and our employees are pretty significant. And the cost is relatively low for the amount of good that can come out of it.
So basically on top of the already $600 that you're paying for paycheck?
the $600 is a,
Well, that's just been what's been reported
right,
in the
and I
bills.
understand that.
So, I
And
mean, if
so-
that's on top of it,
it was, we signed up for a program where the first month was, I believe it was the first month was free. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared to talk about this tonight. I think it was the first month and the last month was free. And then they waived a sign-on fee that we would normally have. So during this $600 fee that you keep hearing people talk about, we also were offered an HR program. So the city of Bunker Hill is supposed to have an employee manual, and that is something this HR department is going to help us do. So we will benefit from that HR during that time that we have it. And then the very last month is, I believe, August is free. And again, I'm going off memory. So the last month in August is free, and then we go back to just the regular fee, which I would have to get that for you. I don't have that with me tonight. This fee that we're talking about right now is $1.64 per employee per pay period, with a base fee of $18.90 per pay period. And a one-time implementation fee of, it's normally $600, it's discounted because we are in a packet with them already, to $300.
so after August, oh, you said you didn't have it with you, how much it was?
I don't, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was just,
Yeah,
I've been lost on the 600 for
In
months.
other
so-
words,
so did I.
the people, the city employees are paid by somebody outside the city. Or used to, it was paid by the city clerk, treasurer, whatever, right?
That's correct.
Why did they add an expense?
Well, that's a long story. We can talk about that anytime you want. We can go over that. And right now is an excellent example of why we have it, because we have no office staff right now. And if we didn't have paychecks,
Doesn't Rhonda sign off on payroll?
I have a full-time job, 7:30 to 4, I can't be in here all day.
so
What were you elected for?
Part-time clerk position. According to the ordinance, it's part-time.
So, long story short, this, I feel that this is gonna make our clocking in, clocking out more efficient for all the employees.
And employees seem excited about it, don't they?
Yeah, they actually are. The ones that I've talked with are eager to use the system. They like the fact that they can. So we had one employee, want information, he wanted to see his timesheets, and he wanted to see, well, his paycheck stuff. They'll be able to see all that from this app that they can have on their own personal phones or their own personal computers, where they can track the vacation time, how much vacation time they've taken, how much sick time they've taken. They can track their IMRF, the contributions. It's a very positive tool.
So somebody from the city approves the hours before the payroll plays. I mean,
Absolutely.
somebody here physically looks at the hours and makes
Yes.
sure that they're all
Yeah,
correct before the payroll company just cuts a check.
Yeah, there's actually a video that you could probably go to Paychecks and watch about the time and attendance. And it's very interesting. It's like a 10-minute video. I would recommend if you
We
guys could
use,
get on there.
we use a system called Paycom. It's
So similar. Yeah.
similar.
It's just really impressive how you can work with a budget and be able to track everything instead of just coming in and seeing a timesheet that's got several hours of overtime and stuff on it where you weren't even aware that somebody was getting overtime. So I think it's a positive thing for the city as a whole.
Or the public record,
What is that?
accessed by the public, by the residents.
The,
That,
well, I'm sorry,
any
it's
of the
what?
paychecks, information,
Yes.
hours.
I mean, their
Their
time
hours
sheets
work,
are,
their rate of pay, but
Yeah.
no personal information like.
Not personal information,
Yeah.
but I mean, hours and stuff like
Yes.
that.
yes, you can fill out a FOIA request for any of that, but I mean, obviously, nothing with their personal information.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's redacted, but yeah.
But all that's probably stored here.
That's not true for the police department, though, is it?
They're,
Their timesheets aren't subject to FOIA requests.
as far as I know, they are, yeah.
You might want to double check.
Sure.
Let's see.
I'm
So we
sorry,
don't give out the
not
schedule.
schedules, no.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody have any questions on the time of minutes? I would encourage all of you guys to go in and watch the video. If you see this cover page where it says paychecks plus time for Gmail at the top. Just click if you, and I can send it out in an email if you guys didn't get it. So click here to watch this 10-minute video. It's a really good video. That being said, at this time, I would like to make a motion to add to our paychecks package the time and attendance program for the flex time price bundled with our HR package at 40% discount applied. Because at this time, we're already in that program, so it'll be $1.64 per employee per pay period, with a base fee of $18.90 per pay period, and a one-time information fee for $300.
Will they still be able to use the time clocks also? This will just be the.
This will be
one way.
Yeah, they'll be able to use a PC, they'll be able to use it if they want to use their cell phones or their smartphones, or a laptop.
Is that good with everybody? I mean, is everyone modern and has the phone to do it with?
If not, they have a computer they can do it for.
Did I understand you right? It's kind of geocoded where they have to be within a certain distance of work to be able to do it.
So yeah, we can't.
So basically, I can clock in here and drive 40 miles to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can't be taking a shower and going late
Right.
to work and clocking in.
Okay.
I'll second that.
John said that Jake could clock in from the driveway. So how
If
big a
he's
geo
brown.
area?
Yes.
West, Menard,
Yes.
Houseville.
To answer your question, it tracks, as soon as they clock in, it'll track that to where he goes. So it's not every second, but it'll track so you'll know from basically on the plot where he's at. at a certain
And for
time.
the geofencing, we can set it up, so say like for the water department, we can set it up for all of the water users. And that's the geofencing, and then there's the geo-tracking that tracks where they are when they clock in. I mean, it'll tell us exactly where they're at when they clock in.
So yes, you could clock in his driveway, but if he sits in his driveway for 10 minutes, it's gonna know that he sat in his driveway for 10 minutes after clocking in. So,
Is it tracking the user's cell phone? If they're geo-tracking?
It'll be whatever they signed in on.
I
yeah,
was gonna say, whatever they sign in on.
So if someone, say, if he signs in on his cell phone in the morning, that gives the city access to his location for his entire shift.
So the way it works is,
Patient access.
it's a, once you clock in, it's not tracking you as you move. No, it does not do that. Once you sign in, it pings paycheck,
Of where you're at.
make sure that you're in the proper geofence. And then, once that's done, it's off. It's not drawing your data down. It's not, it's not a tracking device. If that's what you're alluding to, it is
Well,
not that at all.
I'm just curious, because,
And that's a good
and
question.
maybe you were talking about like if Jake goes in and changes his coding on his, like from the water department to the sewer department, and then it would ping that location.
It actually just tells us that the time is ending in the street department and it's transferring over to the water department. He's not signing, unless he's signing in and out at that time.
Yeah, but that is a good question, because I used a similar, when I worked a summer job. It did track you, but it was a different job. I mean, it was a job where you need to be tracked, so where your location was. I was misunderstood. It's still a good thing to have.
It is, but it's kind of contradicted. I mean, if he clocks in and he's in his driveway and it just pings that he's there and that's where he clocked in at, well, if he sits there for 10 minutes, isn't it still tracking him to know that he sat there for 10 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what she just said.
I didn't hear what you said. We're gonna see Rick real quick, and then we'll come back to your question.
Okay. I'd like to make the motion at this time to seek Rick Barry.
Voice vote.
Alright.
Everybody is.
Not very well.
All any opposed? Okay. How do you want the question?
So you said it's not tracking, so I guess I'm a little confused because you said if he clocks in his driveway, it's gonna ping that he's in his driveway, which is great. But then you said you'll know if he sat there for 10 minutes. But how are you
I
gonna
said
know?
that and I was mistaken. I didn't understand that. I spoke out of turn when I said
Okay,
that.
so
Because
then,
I was used to,
so then how are you gonna know if he clocked in at 7 o'clock, but didn't go
Went back
start,
inside and had breakfast.
didn't start working until 7:30? Huh?
He's laying in bed.
Exactly.
Oh, I woke up late. I gotta.
Because that's exactly why we can't clock in on our phones.
I was gonna say,
It has to be in the,
their spot to clock in will be the city shed. And their spot for here would be the city building for the police officers and the city workers.
So you guys can set it up to where they have to be within a certain distance of
Right.
there, or the shed and stuff like that.
Correct.
Okay, that's how our laws work. We're geofenced and depending on where we're at.
And it'll ping.
Right.
And let paychecks know that they're clocking in, when they're signing in, it pings and tells them that they're like with Jake, it would be the city shed.
Right.
So the police officers or the offices in here, they don't have to have it on their phone.
No,
They can use the laptop or the
Absolutely.
computer when they come.
and they can do the same thing over the city shed.
Yes, and they don't have to use their phone if they choose not.
That is absolutely.
All right, we're gonna move on now. We're gonna go to the clerk's office, temporary hours. So, again, as of right now, we don't have a full staff. All right. We are talking about what we would like to do is reduce our hours that volunteers are here. I think everybody's getting a little behind with their personal stuff and Rhonda, what do you want to reduce those to?
Well, there was talk about closing maybe all day Tuesday and all day Thursday, originally, but, we discussed it this afternoon and we're thinking closing every day at 1. Being open from 8 AM to 1 PM. No lunch closure between 12 and 12:30. And then closing every day at 1. That way because I have to work 8 hours at my other job. Lisa has a full-time job and Jill has a full-time job taking care of the business and all of that. We've all been working a lot.
that's what a job is. If it requires more hours, you work more hours.
But we all have other jobs.
No, that's not the city's, that's not the citizens'
It's not a
problem.
big city either. You know,
But I called up here
Philadelphia,
3 days, I called up here 3 days in a row to get my water bill amount because I didn't get a water bill in all 3 days. Every extension I pushed was voicemail. Or I got a volunteer that had absolutely no clue
To,
how to answer
our
the
computer
questions.
program support staff. And so if they're on the phone, there's sometimes only one person in there that can't answer the phone.
And how do your questions been answered that, I mean, have you received your bill or?
Oh yeah, I finally got one this month. Of course, included last month finally, but yes. But last month when I called to get it, that's when I had an
When did
issue.
you call, do you remember?
I called here. I got
No, I
no,
mean, when?
I don't know what days it was. One was a Friday, one was a Monday, one was a Wednesday, and all
Because
3 times I got
Ginger did the
billed.
last bill.
That has nothing to do with it. I'm saying when I called in to get the amount. All
Okay.
3 times I got
I was just wondering if it was
3
before the 12th.
the same volunteer that could give me absolutely no information that just said, call back tomorrow when somebody else is here. So I call back tomorrow and it's the same person with no answer.
I think they can
So it
help,
was a
I think they can help now.
it's a
but
little
it's definitely-
frustrating, you know?
We didn't have access to the assist program in the very beginning after Ginger first went out. So we couldn't, none of us could get in there to check any customer's water bill. But
We are changing.
Jill and
protocol.
Lisa have done a lot of, time on the phone with the assist program. And we've got things kind of figured out better now. So if you'll just bear with us because we don't have 2 8-hour employees in there. And we're doing the best that we can.
Is Ginger still a city employee? Or what's her status?
Yes.
She is, yes.
She's not on medical?
She's,
I don't think we can say
Yeah,
anything.
he can be.
right. Yes, sir.
Just a suggestion, of course, if we're gonna have to close the office, we're gonna have to close the office, but maybe not have it 8 to 1 Monday through Friday, because there are some folks that can only conduct their business in the afternoons. So maybe 2 or 3 days you're open in the morning, and 2 or 3 days you're open in the afternoon, but I mean, not everybody can have all their business concluded by 1 o'clock in the afternoon all week long.
That might make it very confusing for people.
I would
I mean,
think
if you have consistent time. People
I want
know.
it confusing. I want you all to understand too, we've tried hiring a temp service. The union has tried to locate someone to fill the position well.
And has made suggestions and
Yeah.
we're following up with those suggestions too. Great, and
So even the temp people can't
Good
find
help.
people that want to work.
Yeah.
So, as we all drive all over the place and see all these help wanted signs everywhere, it's got just as big an impact here as McDonald's and Taco Bell and everywhere else.
We have explored pretty much every avenue.
so, like I said, I just want to announce that we're gonna be having some more temporary hours and just let the public know what we're gonna be doing that. We'll try to keep everybody posted as best as possible, but yes, we can take care of all their needs.
Can we do like a widespread media blitz, Facebook, YouTube, pictures, posters, flyers, whatever, stuff like that? So, I mean, I would hate to, Beth knew that, 'cause I would hate to think that, my 78-year-old grandmother's gonna come down here and find a door lock.
Yes.
All right, we'll definitely let the community know.
And we'll also have it in the paper.
You want to add anything else to that, Ron? Also have on here, audio, video, live streaming. Lisa's helped us get on YouTube here. Everyone's seen Carrie.
I shouldn't turn around.
No,
Whether you've been talking to that 2-day camera.
So YouTube's, it just seems to be a easier platform. It's archived, you can always come back to it. You don't have to be a Facebook member or anything like that to view it. Moving forward, now that we have it somewhat working, we're gonna try to do this more often, possibly even committee meetings. I think I can do that.
And we'll also have it in the paper.
All right, we'll definitely let the community know.
And we'll also have it in the paper.
So great improvement to do. So we're gonna look into purchasing some equipment. This is my personal equipment here. I'd like to purchase some equipment here in the near future to start doing this better, as long as this is working for everybody and we're not, getting complaints that it's dropping out or whatever. So definitely comment on that and tell us how you like this new different platform.
I'm going to put on the city page, the YouTube address and all that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hey, John, your voice is probably the hardest one to hear because you're so far away, and you're coming through pretty good. Your voice is probably the hardest one to hear because you're so far away.
That's
Um,
I don't have to hear me say it twice. Say it twice.
So now we're gonna go into executive reports.
Are you wanting to make a motion to purchase, or you?
We don't have any numbers right now, but, again, if this is a good way to go, I'd like to move forward with this. So next meeting, we'll have more information on that, the prices and so forth. Executive reports, we've got, Public Works. It's all included in your packets, as far as, what Jake has going on. You want to talk about some of the things that he's gotten done this week or this month?
Yeah. According to Jake, they have mowed and then they mowed and they mowed some more. They did finish up the smaller playground, so both playgrounds are done. The border was put around them this week. So we put down weed barrier, border, and then rock. And the inspection is tomorrow. So we're hoping by this weekend kids can play on it. They picked up the new truck that was approved last year. It's finally done and state inspected and on the streets now. And this is the famous word, they fluffed the volleyball court. So we are getting the volleyball court added, the resi for Brittenell Park, ready to where people can use it on a daily basis if they like, but then we're also wanting to bring back the volleyball tournament if we have interest for the 4th of July picnic. So I just made some posts late last night about that, see if there's any interest, and then we've got to check a few other things. But we have purchased a new volleyball net and new posts. The new posts are going to be made soon by the company here in town, Metalworks, and that will all be done before 4th of July. So if you guys all want to put together a volleyball team, we'd love to have you. Says he picked up chalk and field dry for the baseball league, and they sprayed the weeds uptown, the city hall, pump stations, and road field. They did some patching, and they listed roads that we're going to shoot for this year. We do have NFT money that we are going to put to good uses. So hopefully you guys will see some improvements in the streets and sidewalks.
Did the city hire somebody to mow this year? Like Steve Adcock had done in the past?
Yeah, Steve's.
Steve's
doing it?
Yeah.
How often do you have the playground equipment inspected?
I honestly can't answer that question. It'll be something that he, I'm sure, tells us once they inspect it.
When I worked for the schools, I had to inspect playgrounds every 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly can't answer that question.
Sometimes we bring in the architects actually to do the health, life, safety inspection.
Okay.
So if you don't have inspection reports, you might want to start looking.
Jake
That all
already
has-
has them. I think he mentioned that
I
before.
was gonna say, I think Jake has what's been done in the past. I've just
Yes.
never seen it, so I can't answer the question. And the gentleman will be here tomorrow, so we'll be getting, like I said, we'll either pass or he'll tell us what needs to be fixed for the new location. Any other questions?
Next item is the police department.
I'll be giving that report, Mr. Mayor.
Before you get started, Ron, I do want to get the police chief title off my shoulders as quick as I can. I would like to appoint Ron Boris as chief of police. interim with consent of the council.
Need a motion.
You need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Are you willing to accept that?
With respect to the city, of course, did a good job, the city, and take care of everybody.
I just didn't hear you. I asked if you were willing to accept it.
Always, I was really respectful.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Roll call.
Lenore,
Yes.
West,
Yes.
Householder,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Barry.
Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, yeah. The city of Bunker Hill generated 214 calls of service from last meeting date to today. We responded to 5 domestic disturbances, 5 domestic battery reports this month, one of which was resulted in a resisting arrest charge, criminal damage to state-supported property, and aggravated battery to 2 Bunker Hill PD police officers, one of them including myself. We responded to 15 total 911 calls of service for the police department. We assisted the ambulance fire department 9 different times. One was on a fire and one was on a suicide attempt, which I responded to first and actually saved the life. We had 6 different child custody cases that came in that we took reports on. We had 4 animal complaints, 1 animal complaint which led to an animal attack, which was investigated and charged with violence to the state attorney's office. We had 1 vandalism report and 2 cases that were directed for obviously protection to DCFS. I can't go into all the details on that related paperwork. There are 2 DCFS cases this month. And the remainder of the 214 generated cases were, for example, like self-initiated, talk to officer or check vehicle, and the other ones are all traffic stops to be initiated in the city limits for that report. And since we haven't really had a police committee here, I'm trying to get with everybody. I'm going to need to get with you, Rick, and Kara. I know Glenn's not here. I'm just going to pass you, if I may, this and one to the mayor. This is just something I want to go and talk to you a little bit more. Maybe I can catch your ear after it, if that would be okay with all of you, so we can address the things that need to be addressed. You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And one will be reference to the criminal damage of property, state and support property, which is our police car. That we have an estimate to repair on the interior of the arrested individual. It needs to be addressed. Let's see if I have, let me triple check here. And that's the estimate, which I'll hand you each after that to the police council. And we can look at that, I will try to do this number. But I think that's everything. And I had a question I have to address with the attorney, but he's here tonight on permitting. But we've already made a decision from the police department to remind you of documents. City council, welcome, yes.
All right, Ron, thank you. And
Congratulations, new chief.
in your spare time, have you done anything with that?
Just that everything's directed. I have like once a month, I talk to the people over there and we have a healthy budget, and I would presume I'll be making a few purchases on the ESDA budget in the near future. And I'll address that to all of you in the further meetings.
You know what it is in the instant.
Yeah, I reported that last time, Kara. I don't want to go off the top of my head. It's in my
No, that's fine.
mailbox.
I'll go
I
back
can
and
give you the figure, but there are just some small things we need, just the backup thing, which are simple to order too. Thank you. You're welcome.
You have a question in the corner?
It's not a question, it's actually a compliment and a comment. As most people have seen, 2 weeks ago, I fell at my house and I broke my kneecap and had to require surgery. And it required Bunker Hills Fire Department and the ambulance service to get me up out of my yard. And Officer Boris also came over. I just want to compliment all 3 services. They did an outstanding job. They were at my house within 2 minutes. And they all of them did a great job, very professional, and major kudos and thank you to all 3 departments.
Thank you. Rhonda?
Just have the video gaming report for April 2021 and an email I got that I put in there in reference to an invitation to meet with Senator Doris Turner, if you're interested.
Right. Is that all for now then, Ronald?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, next item is, pretty much, it's been a wild first month, I'll tell you. We've, got under here notice of City of Bunker Hill water customers, so, last month, since we're a little off balance, we did waive late fees. If, you've seen the Gazette. We're just trying to help everybody out with our situation that we have going on here. We don't want people feeling that they're going to get shut off or anything because we haven't been prompt at answering people's questions. Again, it's not been very easy at all figuring out some of this stuff, and everybody that's been volunteering has done an excellent job. Almost, as far as I know, everyone that's had a question has been answered. May not be as timely as they expect, but we are figuring things out, and we're going to move forward and be able to. Whoever comes in next, we will have a plan in place for them, and we'll be able to help, especially the new deputy clerk. We'll be able to help her. That's kind of an uptick from where we were. When Lee came in, she had a tough time, and she did the best she could with the tools she had. And this time, Rhonda's got more for the new person. Of course, Lisa, been doing a great job.
Yeah, all three of us have learned a lot more about the assist program and all that.
We're going to have a totally different game plan when we get a new deputy clerk. Hopefully be a very smooth transition, and hopefully we'll get an excellent person to serve the citizens. We're going to go into attorney matters next. Labor local grievances, 338, 520. We do have a meeting coming up on the 16th. So I will get into contact with Labor Relations Committee. We're gonna,
Yeah, we'll need to post that.
I don't think we post that one. That'll be, since it's involving personnel, I'll double check over TKO, but I'll have you to answer before 48 hour notice and stuff. So
Okay.
If Tuesday doesn't work for you, then actually I think we just do a committee meeting on Tuesday.
Committee of the whole on Monday.
Okay, sorry. So if Tuesday at 6 doesn't work, then we can reschedule the meetings. But again, I'll be in touch with you on that. That's the biggest update we have right now on that. Property updates, 604 Washington. Right, we have the emails in there. As far as I'm concerned, I think that nuisance has been abated. I think we should have Rick close that case. 201 South Hickory. Agreed. Yeah, I remember that.
But once you see them, you'll remember the situation. Oh, yeah. There it is, Rick. City of Vanilla. right there, no, I didn't notice that.
I don't know if you wanna bring that to his attention. I mean, it looks like it's already.
He's already done.
So, we'll just review what Rick's requesting there for payment from that property owner. A modification to Article 17 of the CBA concerning vacation update. We have not made any progress on that and probably won't until it's negotiation time. So we're probably gonna have that taken off next time also.
Okay.
I don't think there's gonna be any movements. I don't have any personnel issues at this point to take into executive session. And I have no updates on the emergency water connection to Derby County Road 1. Anybody else on the board have any questions?
Can I just get a clarification on something?
Sure.
So you took a full-time police officer and then made him chief, right? So we didn't add a police.
Correct.
Okay.
John, why is the alternate water source under executive session? What's so secretive that we can't discuss it in an open meeting act? Under the open meeting?
We really don't have any information on that, so, you know,
Well, I see it's on the board meeting thing every month, and you go into executive session.
I can explain that to you some other time if you'd like to sit down and talk about it. I'll go over all that to everybody.
So you're getting ready to adjourn the meeting, I'd be glad to.
Well, not tonight, but we've got some other things that we gotta go over for the.
So much talking.
All right, so just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank everybody for coming.
I don't feel like it was very good. Didn't quite feel as good. How do you turn the, do you want me to turn this off? I didn't get it. You get it? Yeah. I didn't stream. Go ahead.
Hey, if nothing
I'll let
else,
everybody
just-
go out.
No, I want to record your head.
I will. We're gonna do is let it send it out to him. Then we'll go.
Okay. Yeah, I just have a, my husband had a friend that does that. So he said, when they said, they're going to.
I'm gonna be here every day, so anything I can ever help with. Such a-
I don't know how many people. Yeah, that was on my first
I have just hard.
If we know when, she can get her heads up.
I love the city.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
This might be one. She's my better half. The boss. That's exactly right. Behind, you know, behind every great man is a great woman. Very blessed to have her. I don't know what I would do. Anything I can do to help.
Yeah, Galen and this way, so right side of us, and then.
So it's
I
like.
worked with the shadow shower for
Don't encounter any of that here.
No, it's, yeah, you know, a lot of things
Did you get it where you needed it? Because we, Mary, can get it tomorrow.
No, it's.